Hello, everybody. Welcome to Matt's World. And yes, I've got the shirt on. It's that time of year again where I make myself look like a fool on the internet. It's the second time I've done this. EFL Championship Predictions. And I feel like I should start from bottom to top, but I just really don't want to talk about Wednesday. So, you know what? Actually, let's just get it out of the way. 24th place. Wednesday. Yeah, I can't see Wednesday finishing anywhere else other than bottom. I can't do it. Our club is in so much turmoil and chaos right now. I just can't I can't see a world where we don't finish bottom. Like, we've got a club captain who doesn't even have a new contract yet. We've got Callum Patterson who wants to sign a new deal but he can't, even though he was initially released. We've got a manager who don't want to be here and keeps flip-flopping about staying and going based on whether we have a takeover planned or takeover falls through. He don't want to work under Chancery, which is fair enough, but our manager Danny Roller's he's just completely AWOL and just doesn't want to be here. We've got an assistant manager, Hendrik Pedersen, who was offered the manager's job. He's our only other coach. We've got no other coaches. They've all gone out of contract. We've got 15 senior players on the books. We've had 2 players terminate the contracts. We've had to sell 2 players because to make money to pay wages. That's another thing. We haven't been paying our players' wages. It's obviously been all over the news. So it's like we haven't even been able to. We can't sign. Nobody wants to sign for us because we've got a transfer embargo. We can only have 23 players. We can only sign players for free. We can only sign players, you know, for no. We can only sign loans for nothing. We can only sign free agents that are not under contract with any other club. We can't spend any money on transfers. We can sell players, but we can't spend any money. We've sold Gassama to Rangers. We've sold Masaba to a Turkish club for an undisclosed fee to try and make up the wages that need owing, and I think they've been paid now. But we've had Michael Smith and Josh Windass, 2 of our club's top scorers last season, both terminate the contracts because they were 2 of the 6 that handed in the notice. So it's more than likely that 4 of the 6 have gone, as in Gassama, Mazaba, Windass, and Smith. Smith's gone to Preston. Windass has gone to Wrexham. And it's just like they've quit us to go to them. You know what I mean? They didn't sign us. They didn't sign them for money. They terminated their contracts. They quit to join these clubs. Just shows the absolute disgrace of a state of our club is in. I didn't even mention the North Stand yet. The North Stand has got a corroding roof. It's got a corroding roof. So we might not even be able to sit in North Stand next season. I'm a season ticket holder. I renewed my season ticket in January before all of this Chancery wage stuff kicked off. In January, I renewed my season ticket. And I sit in the North Stand. That's where I sit. I sit in the North Stand. So if they're not going to give me my money back, I'm going to make sure I sit somewhere else if I'm not allowed to sit in North Stand. It's an absolute joke. It's an absolute disgrace how our club has been just running to ground and we're just struggling to stay afloat. We're supposed to have a friendly against Mansfield today. It's been cancelled, apparently. And even if it weren't, it would have been behind closed doors, so none of our fans would have been able to watch it anyway. So, what's the point? What's the point? We've got 15 players on book, one of which is a striker who scored 0 goals last season. It's mental, absolutely mental. We're going to have to be playing loads of kids. We can't even form a team. We're going to have to be playing our under-21s, maybe even our under-18s, depending how many we have. It's just absolutely disgraceful. It's an absolute disgrace. Josh Windass terminating his contract with Wednesday to go to Wrexham just says it all. They're one of the best run clubs in country and we're the worst. You know what I mean? That transfer says it all. He's gone from the worst run club in the Championship to one of, if not the best run club in the Championship. to Wrexham. So it's just, I don't blame him. I don't blame any players for leaving. I don't blame any players who didn't sign a new contract before all this absolute chaos happened. I don't blame anybody for leaving, and I don't blame any player in the whole country and the whole world for not wanting to come to Wednesday because there's no guarantee they'll get paid. It's an absolute sham. It's ridiculous. Chansiri needs to go. He needs to go. I'm sorry, but he needs to go. I can't stress that enough. Anyway. So who are my other two in the bottom three? I think I'll move on, actually. I think I'll get the league winner out of the way as well, because I know what I'm picking. It's Ipswich. Ipswich are going to the Prem. They've probably got the best manager in the league in Kieran McKenna. They've not lost many of the players that they had in the championship, in their last championship promotion season and in the Premier League. I know they were rubbish in the Premier League, really, but they've got a lot of the same squad. They've got the same manager. They've got the same ownership who've backed him. And they've got that same loyal fan base. So I've got 24th and 1st out of the way. I think Ipswich are winning this league and Wednesday are going down at bottom. It's just, you know what I mean? Ipswich, they're a well-run club. They were so good in League One, so good when we had to try and compete for playoffs and the top two in League One against Ipswich. They were so good. Like last time they were in Championship with us, they beat us 6-0 at their place. 6-0 at their place. And they beat us 1-0 at our place. So on aggregate, 7-0. It's absolutely... They're so good, Ipswich. And yeah, they've lost Liam Delap, but... So what? That most of the team that they had before is still there. I think they've got the strongest team in the league. They spent a good amount of brass in Premier League and they've built a really good Championship team. I don't think this is like Luton where they've built a team full of unknowns and like not had many of the players that they had before. And, you know, this isn't like that. This is very different. So yeah. Another team I know for definite playoffs is Leicester. Leicester, like Wednesday, have quite a few issues at the moment. A lot of PSR issues, a lot of issues off the pitch. They've had a few outgoings. They've had a change of manager. Cifuentes is a good manager. He was a good manager at QPR. He was a very good manager at QPR, in fact. And I think he'll be a good fit at Leicester. And they have got a really good team, but if they get a points deduction, they're not getting top two. This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking they could potentially get a points deduction. I'm just thinking they could possibly get a points deduction. They could... I'll drop my fidget. There we go. My blue tack ball. I love Leicester City. I love them. They're not who I support, but they're probably my second favourite team in the country. I absolutely love Leicester City. I really do, and it's sad to see what's happened to them. I think they do need a change in ownership, especially with what's happening now, just like us. But, well, not just like us, we're a lot worse, but, you know, points deductions and financial issues and squad depth issues are not to laugh at, really. It's going to hinder Leicester's chances at getting in the top two. And I think there's just so many issues going on at the club. If they get 9 points taken off them, they could still go up. They could still win the playoffs. But I don't see them going up in the top two. I don't see it. I can't. I just think there are stronger teams and that are not in issues like Leicester are that are going to go up over Leicester in the top two. Right, so next, let's try and fill each tier. Who do I definitely think will just miss out? I think Bristol City will just miss out. Bristol City had a fantastic year last year. They had a fantastic season. They had the best season since 2008. Finishing in playoffs. I know they got absolutely battered on aggregate by Sheffield United, but the fact that they got in the playoffs is an achievement. They got into the top six when they've been known as this mid-table championship team for the last 9 seasons. I think this is their 10th season in a row in the championship, and it took them 9 seasons to finally get in the playoffs and to break out of that mid-table mould. And it's just they've got a good manager. I know they've had a change in manager. Hopefully he's a good manager, and they've got a decent squad. And they're a well-run club, and they're very established at this level of the English game. And I just think there are going to be teams in the playoffs that are just better than them this season. And I don't think it's because they've had a downgrade. I think it's more because the teams around them have just got stronger. So I think Bristol City will just miss out. Who do I think will definitely be in relegation scrap? Stoke. Stoke, 100% Stoke. I can't even argue. They're just here every single season. They had that streak where they were finishing between 14th and 17th every year, 16th. And then they finished 19th last year and could have easily got relegated. If results hadn't gone their way, they could have got relegated. And I think Mark Robins is a very good manager. And I think it's just Stoke have been getting really good managers, really bad managers since they've come down from Premier League. Their recruitment, I think just the player recruitment has been awful. I just think they were an established Premier League team for a decade, and now they can't get out of the bottom half of the Championship, and they're having to worry about not being relegated to League One. I just think they're going to be in scrap. These Stoke are like the current Birmingham. Remember when Birmingham came down from Premier League? They were just in. They had a few top half years, but they were in the bottom half of the Championship for about 7 or 8 seasons, and then they dropped. And look at them now; they've got EFL points record, and they've come straight back up, and now they've got momentum. I think sometimes relegation is what's needed to give your team a kick up the backside to actually start performing. And I think that's what's going to happen to Stoke. One year they're going to get sucked into that trapdoor and go down. And I hate to say it, no team ever wants to go down. But I just think there are 2 worse teams than Stoke this season. But I think Stoke are blessed with the fact that they have Mark Robins and they have a decent Championship team that can keep them in the league. But I wouldn't be surprised if Mark Robins got sacked at some point, whether it's this season or next season. I would not be surprised one bit if Mark Robins gets the sack. So, not because of his managerial ability, but more because of the position Stoke will be in the table and the underperformance of the players and the board, because Stoke seem to change their manager every single season. What they do is they have a poor start, they sack the manager, then they get a new manager who keeps them up in league, and then they have a summer transfer window, and then they have a poor start to the season, and then they sack the manager. They do that. It happens. It seems to have happened the last couple of seasons at Stoke. So I think it's going to be very similar. So yeah, I'm sorry, Stoke fans, but I can't see climbing the table. I can't do it. I can't see it. One team I do see climbing the table though is Portsmouth. Portsmouth. I seem to have gone with red and blue, haven't I? I ain't done that deliberately, but I can see Stoke, Portsmouth progressing up the table from where they finished last season. They stayed up comfortably. They were the best out of the promoted 3 from League One last season. Only by 1 place though. Oxford were only 1 place behind them. But yeah, Portsmouth really they've been having a solid transfer window and they've got a good manager. I think they're going to climb up the league. They've not got any issues off the pitch. They're doing really well on the pitch. I just think Portsmouth are going to climb up the table. They're not going to be in the scrap. You know, they're a decent team, Portsmouth, and I think they're going to climb. And I wouldn't be surprised if they won one of the 2 games against Southampton, in all honesty. Anyway, I may as well get the elephant out of the room. Let's get Birmingham in the playoffs. Yeah, Birmingham are coming up with a super team. Like, when they were in League One, they didn't even break a sweat. They were just so good. 111 points, the all-time EFL points record. That's mental, absolutely mental. They're coming up with so much momentum, so much money with the new ownership. And yeah, the ownership messed up 2 seasons ago by appointing Wayne Rooney and essentially getting them relegated. But I'll be honest, as much as relegation is painful, sometimes your club needs relegation to give yourself a kick up backside to start performing, and that's what Birmingham have done. They've gone down, they've not messed about, they've broken EFL League One transfer record like 5 times in one window, come straight back up with 111 points with a super team, and they're just gonna keep that momentum going. I can just see Birmingham just smoking this league, just absolutely doing so well and taking points off teams that they shouldn't on paper. And yeah, I think Birmingham are going to be in playoffs. I can't see them not being in playoffs. Charlton will stay up. I think Charlton have an established championship manager. I think they have an established team. They have a decent team of players. Nathan Jones has always been a good manager at this level. Yes, he's only been like really good at Luton, but he was all right when he was decent at Stoke. And whenever he's in League One, he's really good. He's got Charlton up. Premier League is probably not his level, but you know what I mean. At the moment, he went to Southampton too soon, in my opinion. He took the Premier League move way too soon. But I think he will keep Charlton up either in like 21st or 20th, but he'll keep them up, definitely. Derby County are going to climb this league. They've got, if I can even... Derby County are climbing. They've got John Eustace. He's one of the best managers in this league. He had Birmingham in playoffs before they unexplainably fired him for Wayne Rooney. He had Blackburn in playoffs before he left Blackburn to go to Derby. And now he's with Derby. Birmingham were in a scrap with Eustace and then they were in playoffs. Blackburn were in a scrap with Eustace and then they were in playoffs. Derby were in a scrap with Eustace. And I think they're going to be up there, but I think they're going to fall short. I just think there are teams of better quality than Derby at the moment. But I can't stress enough that John Eustace is such an underrated manager. If he has Derby in the top half after taking Birmingham and Blackburn into the top half while he were there at those clubs as well, you cannot overlook Derby County. You just can't overlook Derby County. Which team shall I pick next? Let's go with the colour I've not had yet. Hull I'm undecided on at this point in time. Let's just put them back down there. Norwich, I think, are going to climb. I think they're going to miss out. I don't think they're going to get in. I think there's too much speculation on Sargent leaving. There's too much, change. I think they are going to finish higher. They had a very poor season for their standards last season. Very, very poor. But I think they're going to improve this season. I don't think they're going to get in the playoffs, but they're going to climb. And that's all based on whether Sargent stays or Sargent leaves. I saw him at Hillsborough. He's a very, very... In fact, no, I didn't see him at Hillsborough, did I? We beat him because he was injured. Without him, they were rubbish last season. And yeah, I just can't see a world where Norwich get into the playoffs, unfortunately. I don't see it happening. One team I do see finishing mid-table, though, is QPR. I think that's a dead certain. I think with their managerial change and some of the change at the club, I think they're going to have another season where they finish mid-table. I can't see them climbing very much from last season. I did get QPR correct in my predictions last year. I predicted them to finish 15th, and they finished 15th. So I was right with QPR. I think Cifuentes leaving them is a massive blow. I think that is a big blow for them. I think he was a valuable asset to him. And it's a shame, really, that he's decided to jump ship and go somewhere and go to Leicester, because he could have done a very good job with them. So anyway, I think QPR are going to be in mid-table. So out of the teams left, I think Swansea are going to miss out. Swansea were really, really good at the end of last season. After they lost 1-0 to Wednesday and their manager got sacked because of it, they got a new gaffer in and they won nearly every single game, and they were just picking up points left, right and centre, which shot them up to, I think they finished 13th in the end, which they were having a poor season. They were in relegation scrap for the majority of the season, and then they just shot up at the end. And I think they're going to carry on that momentum. I think they're going to climb this league, Swansea. They're not going to get any playoffs, in my opinion, but they're gonna be in the top half. And they're definitely taking 6 points off Wednesday this year. Speaking of taking 6 points off of Wednesday, Blades. Blades are playoffs at least. They're playoffs at least. Thing is with Sheffield United is their playoff record is so terrible. They have to finish in the top 2 to go up. They do. And that's where I'm going to put them. I think Ruben Sellés is a really underrated gaffer. I think he's really good. Do I think Chris Wilder being sacked was the right decision? No. But do I think appointing Ruben Sellés was the right decision? Yes. As in, like, if they were going to sack Wilder, who would you appoint? I think Ruben Sellés is a brilliant manager. I have no idea why Hull City have sacked him. He kept him up. He did the job that Hull asked him to do, which was to keep them up in the Championship, and he did. So why did he get sacked? It's disgraceful. It's absolutely disgraceful. But Sheffield United have picked up an absolute beautiful manager, and they've got a very good squad. They've got a top 6 championship squad. They have pretty much since 2019. They've always had a top 6 championship squad, and they've still got a top 6 championship squad, and they're taking 6 points off Wednesday again. I cannot stress this enough. Sheffield United are going to go up. As much as it pains me to say it, they're probably going to go up. They're probably going to be this underdog second place merchant that they normally are. Like, they came second with Burnley, they came second with Norwich, and they're probably going to come second again if they're going to go up. So, yeah, I'm putting them there for now. I might swap them, but for now I'm keeping Sheffield United locked in the top 2. So, who else? Watford, I worry for Watford. I really worry for Watford. They are just the sacking manager merchants of not just the Championship, but the EFL. I'm going to put them in scrap. They can't keep getting away with sacking every single manager they get. They can't keep getting away with it. It's going to bite them. It's going to come back to bite them at some point. They're going to just be in bottom half. Maybe like more top end at scrap, not really in scrap, but worries about them being in scrap kind of club. But I can't stress enough. Watford are just on the downward trend. They have been for a while, pretty much since they came down from Premier League the second time. They just can't get it going. All the managers get sacked, and it's an absolute mess at Watford, really. Not a mess as in absolute disaster class like Wednesday off the pitch. I just mean on the pitch. They can never hold a manager for more than one season. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And I think clubs that change their managers a lot don't. You know what I mean? It's not great, is it? It's not a great look for your club. Right. Who do I talk about next? I think Millwall are finally going to get in. They've got to do it this time. They've got to do it. They've got to do it. They've come so close so many times. They've got to do it this season. They've genuinely got to do it. They can't miss out on playoffs again. I'm going to leave them there for now, but I just think they've got a really good squad. They've got a good manager for this level, and they just can't afford to just keep missing out on the playoffs. It's just so disappointing for the Millwall fans to get their hopes up and then they keep coming 7th or 8th. It's just maybe I'm doing this completely wrong. Maybe they'll have absolutely no momentum after they're running out of steam trying to get in playoffs and then they'll finish lower. But Millwall they've got to be up there, and another team that's got to be up there is Wrexham. Wrexham have a really good team. They've just signed Josh Windass off us for free because we just decided not to sell him before it got to the point where he terminated his contract. Shambolic business from Wednesday, but Wrexham have signed a really good striker. They've got they've got the same manager. They've still got Phil Parkinson. They've got more or less a very similar team. I know Paul Mullen's gone out on loan to Wigan, but their team is just really good. There's a reason why they've been promoted 3 times. They've got a lot of momentum. They've got a lot going for them, Wrexham. I do not see them going back down. I don't see any of the promoted 3 going down, but I definitely don't see Birmingham and Wrexham going down. And I definitely don't see Wrexham finishing in bottom half, which a lot of people are predicting. I just think Wrexham have so much momentum. They're like a train. They're just ploughing through, stopping at each station and then moving on straight away. They're just ploughing through the English Football League. And I get it. They've got good owners and they've got money. So what? They've got good owners. They've got good owners. I would bite somebody's hand off for owners like them at my club. I would kill somebody for owners that Wrexham have at Wednesday. I would genuinely do whatever it takes. And Wrexham have so much momentum. It is ridiculous the amount of momentum they have. 3 promotions in a row is not to be sniffed at. And I can't stress enough. Wrexham are finishing in the top half. They might not get playoffs, but they're finishing in the top half. Mark my words. Definitely finishing in the top half. Well, I think a team that's going to be in the scrap but are going to be fine are Oxford. Oxford are going to be the next Preston, the next Bristol City, the next QPR. They're just going to be in the Championship year upon year upon year. I can see it. I think Oxford they're well run. I know they've not got the best terms with their owner. I know they don't really. They want to build a new stadium. I don't think they've started building a stadium, but I saw the YouTube video where if they have no ground, then they have no club. You know what I mean? And they were talking about their stand, the Kassam Stadium, who their owner owns. And yeah, I hope Oxford can get that sorted and just get him out of there completely as soon as they possibly can, because he's probably what's holding him back from climbing the league. But I think Oxford have a really good team. I thought they had a really good team. I backed them to stay up last season, and they did. They finished higher than I expected. I backed them to finish 21st, and they stayed up in 17th. So they did better than I thought in terms of placement in table. But I had faith in them, and they proved me right. So next is Hull City. Hull City. I can't stress enough. I get it, your owner loves your club and he's passionate, but does that make him good? No. He can't. Why would you sack the 2 best managers you've had in recent years? You sacked, what was his name? Rossinia? The guy who took you nearly in playoffs. I get it, it was a bit of a failure with the strong squad that they had not getting in the playoffs. But would I have sacked the manager for that? No. No. I'd have kept him. And they paid the price for that. They went. I don't know why I predicted them to finish 9th last year. Or 8th, whatever it was. I don't know what I'd taken the night before that video, but Hull are just a big worry for me. They're a big worry. I have a friend who supports Hull, and we talk about both of our clubs being in the gutter, and they are in the gutter. We're both in gutter. I mean, they've also got a transfer embargo. That's not why I'm putting them down here. They scraped survival on goal difference. They only stayed up because Luton absolutely imploded and just lost 5-3 on final day. So I don't think Hull have improved much. I don't think their owners cut out for this business, and sacking Ruben Sellers was the stupidest thing they could have possibly done, because he kept him up, and he's a good manager, and they're going to pay a price. Hull are going to pay a price for this. Anyway, next, Southampton. Southampton, at first, I was going to put them like mid-table, because it does happen where when a team gets absolutely pelted in Premier League and are one of the worst ever, they like come into Championship with a losing mentality and they just fall down. Like Luton, like Sunderland. Not that bad, but like Aston Villa. Aston Villa, when they came down, they were one of the worst Premier League sides ever. Their first season, they finished 13th. They finished below Barnsley, for goodness sake. And I could see something like that happening for Southampton. But as of making this video, they've still got some of their on-paper top talent, like Aaron Ramsdale and those kind of players. So I do think they'll be up there. I'm going to put them in there for now. But for some reason, my brain just wants to put a mid-table, because it does happen where when a team gets less than 17, 16 points and they get absolutely trounced in Premier League week in, week out, it just knocks the players' duck off and they just can't get momentum and they finish in middle. It happened to Aston Villa. It happened to... Who else has it happened to? I believe it happened to Derby County when they came down all those years ago. It happened to Stoke. It happened to Birmingham. And even on the worst extreme, it happened to Sunderland and Luton. So I can see it happening where the team that's come bottom that's got battered. But then again, Sheffield United were also the team that were bottom that got battered, but they weren't the second worst Premier League side ever. So Southampton were the second worst Premier League side ever, only having one more point than the Derby County that is known as the worst with 11. But I'll leave Southampton there for now, but my point still stands. Got 5 teams left. Carve, I'm going to put in there. I know you can't have 5 teams in there. I'm going to move these round. Coventry could easily get in playoffs. I think Frank Lampard is a good manager at this level. And I think they've got a really good team. And yes, sacking Mark Robins was a sad day for football, but it was what needed to be done to get the club moving. They were underperforming. And Lampard came in, brought in his style of play, changed a few at starting players, and got them into playoffs. They didn't go up, but I just think the squad is so good. I can see Coventry getting into the playoffs like over Millwall again. I can see it happening. Blackburn. Valérien Ismaël is a good gaffer. He did well at Barnsley. He was doing decent at West Brom even when he got sacked. Might not have been as good at West Brom as he should have been. But at the end of the season, once he got his desired team going, they kicked on and they could have got in playoffs on last day. Well, they were in playoffs at one point. They were in there when Bristol City were losing to Preston. Blackburn did overtake Bristol City, but then they lost to Sheffield United, or drew, was it? I don't know. Anyway, Blackburn could miss out. I do need to sort this tier list out. I will at the end when I've put all the teams in. I've got 3 left. I've got Borough, I've got PP, and I've got West Brom. It's not looking good for PP. It's not looking good for PP, but do I see him going down? No. I think Michael Smith to them is a really good signing. Yes, his level is League One, as in like he scores the most goals in League One. But he's a decent Championship striker, you know. He was the second highest scorer for Wednesday last year, behind Windass, and he were very good. I thought he were very good. I thought he were a good impact sub. He were very good coming off the bench, and I think that's what Preston should utilise with him. Not start him, but bring him on in this 50 odd minute, 60 odd minute, and then he'll be fit enough to score goals. He's old. He's not like fit enough to play a full 90 minutes anymore, but I think he's best utilised as a super sub. Eki Bottom is an alright manager. I think he's an alright manager. I think Preston have a lot of incomings and outgoings. They're pretty much rebuilding their entire team, and that normally either goes one way or the other. They either improve or they get worse. I'll leave Preston there for now. But I've got West Brom and Middlesbrough. I'm going to stick them both in there, and then I'll talk about them. West Brom didn't have a great season for their standards last season. They couldn't get it right with managers. Carlos Corberán leaving was a big blow for them. Tony Mowbray didn't work out, unfortunately, even though he's like considered a club legend. His time there just didn't work out. And it just wasn't... It was just not looking good, Brev, was it? It just was not looking good, Brev. And then there was also Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough should have got into the playoffs last season, but they didn't. They've sacked Michael Carrick, which I don't blame him. When I saw him come to Hillsborough and just absolutely destroy themselves in front of us, and we got our first home win since New Year's Day, and I just saw fans, they were in absolute shock and disbelief. I just think the momentum is starting to run out at Middlesbrough. I think this season is definitely going to be a rebuild season and the start of a new project. But do I see him getting into playoffs? No. Anyway, let's move some teams around. I need to put one more in the bottom three, and I need to fill up that mid-table. So, out of these teams that are in just missing out, who's going to regress and finish mid-table? Borough. Who else? Wrexham. Blackburn. Derby. And see the Swansea or West Brom. I'm going to go with West Brom. And then going into my bottom three. It's not Oxford, not Charlton, not Stoke. It's either PP, Preston North End, or Watford. Do I see Watford getting relegated though? No, I don't. Do I see PP getting relegated? No, I don't. But 3 teams have to go down. Any of these 5 teams here, I don't see going down, but obviously one of them has to. Which team has the most negativity surrounding them out of these? I think Oxford have momentum. I think Preston have a decent squad and a decent manager. I think Watford are just killing themselves long term with the constant sackings and everything. Charlton are a decent team. I could see them staying up. And then Stoke are a decent team. They've got a good manager. They'll probably stay up. So all these have their argument to stay up. But the team I see going down with Wednesday and Hull is Preston. I just think Preston have had a lot of outgoings and a lot of incomings. And that normally goes one or two ways. You either build a really good team and you move up, or you have a load of players who've never played with each other before who struggle to gel and manager gets sacked and then they come into the bottom. I just think there's so much uncertainty around Preston compared to the rest of the teams. And I don't even think Preston will go down because they're bad. I think they'll be fighting till the last day. I just think these teams above them will be better. Anyway, I think, yeah, Wednesday 24th, locked in. Hull 23rd, locked in. Preston 22nd, locked in. Oxford 21st. I'm going to put Charlton 21st, Oxford 20th. Watford 18th, Stoke 19th. Ports, QPR 16th. Borough 15th. They're not locked in. Portsmouth 13th. Blackburn 14th. West Brom 12th. Wrexham 10th. Derby 11th. Or Derby 10th. Wrexham 11th. Swansea 10th. Norwich 9th. Bristol City 8th. Millwall 7th. Might swap Millwall and Norwich round. Norwich 7th. Bristol City 8th. Millwall 9th. Swansea 10th. Southampton 6th. Coventry 5th. Birmingham 4th. Leicester 3rd. Sheffield United 2nd. Ipswich 1st. I think my top two locked in, but I'm going to move these round. I think Leicester will come 5th or 6th. I think Leicester will be 5th. Coventry 4th. Birmingham 6th. Southampton 3rd. Am I going to lock that in? Norwich 7th. That's locked in. Bristol City 8th. That's locked in. Millwall 9th. That's locked in. Swansea, I'm going to swap with Derby. Derby 10th, and I'm locking that in. 11th Swansea, 12th Wrexham. 11th Wrexham, 12th Swansea. 13th West Brom. No, 13th Pompey. 14th West Brom. 15th Blackburn. 12th Blackburn, 13th Pompey, 14th Swansea, 15th West Brom, 16th Middlesbrough. This doesn't seem right in my head. QPR is definitely locked in. Anyway, I think I'm going to move Middlesbrough up. I'm going to put Middlesbrough above Swansea. Right. Ipswich first, locked in. Sheffield United second, locked in. Playoffs. Southampton third, locked in. Coventry fourth, locked in. Leicester fifth, locked in. Birmingham City sixth, locked in. Norwich 7th, locked in. Bristol City 8th, locked in. Millwall 9th, locked in. Derby County 10th, locked in. Wrexham 11th, locked in. Blackburn 12th. I'm going to swap Blackburn and Middlesbrough round. Middlesbrough 12th, locked in. Blackburn 13th. Portsmouth 13th, locked in. Blackburn 14th. Swansea 15th. It's these three. It's Blackburn, Swansea, West Brom. I'm struggling badly with these three. Struggling badly. I think West Brom will be above Borough. Pompey will be above Borough. No, they won't. Pompey will be 14th. Blackburn 15th. Swansea 16th. But I think Swansea have better form than Blackburn. Oh, this is a tough. This is just so hard. It's these three. It's these 5 teams: West Brom, Middlesbrough, Portsmouth, Swansea, Blackburn, that I'm having toughest time ranking. They're the 5 I'm having the toughest time ranking. So, let's move Swansea to 14th, Pompey to 13th, Blackburn to 12th. Or do I have Blackburn above Millwall? Oh! Will Millwall have a regression? No, I think that's fine. 12th Blackburn, 13th West Brom, 14th Portsmouth, 15th Middlesbrough, 16th Swansea, 17th QPR. Right. Before I fight with this any longer, I think I'm going to have to start locking it in. I think I'm going to have to lock it in properly now. So, right. Wednesday, 24th. Locked in. Hull City, 23rd. Locked in. Preston, 22nd. Locked in. Charlton, 21st. Locked in. Oxford, 20th. Locked in. Stoke City, 19th. Locked in. Watford, 18th. Locked in. QPR, 17th. Locked in. Swansea, 16th. No. Middlesbrough, 16th. No. I'm going to have to put Swansea 16th. Swansea 16th. Locked in. Middlesbrough 15th. Locked in. Portsmouth 14th. Locked in. West Brom 13th. Locked in. West Brom 14th. Definitely locked in. Portsmouth 13. Locked in. Blackburn 12th. Locked in. Wrexham 11th. Locked in. Derby 10th, locked in. Millwall 9th, locked in. Bristol City 8th, locked in. Norwich 7th, locked in. Birmingham City 6th, locked in. Leicester City 5th, locked in. Coventry City locked in. 4th. 3rd, Southampton locked in. Sheffield United 2nd, locked in. Ipswich 1st, locked in. That's my predictions. So we've got Ipswich top, Wednesday bottom, and that's my predictions, and they're in order of placement. So that's what I'm locking in. So, and I know people will be like, why have you put some teams really high, really low? It's an unpredictable league, this league. Anything can happen. Luton went down, for goodness sake. Anything can happen. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there before my laptop just dies. If you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like. Please subscribe. Hopefully I will get some of these correct at the end of the season when I review these. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care and goodbye.